Best Actor, Austin Butler in Elvis. Colin Farrell, Banshees of Inisherin. Brendan Fraser, The Well. Paul Mescal, After Sun. And Bill Nye, Living.
For me, I want Brendan Fraser to take this. I want it for so many reasons. Number one, he deserves it. Number two, he's a freaking legacy actor who played a big role in my childhood with The Mummy, with George of the Jungle.
It's like George of the Jungle.
Friggin' Encino Man. Like, yeah, he's Encino Man.
Yeah, right? He is Encino Man.
I had to, yeah, that's him. Anyway, I love Brendan Fraser. I love him. And there's some drama that went behind the scenes. He's kind of had a hard time, like, over the years. This is his comeback story. He came back. He hasn't been in anything in so long. He did a couple of DC projects, here on the side, and then he just comes back strong with a freaking Oscar nomination. And he killed it in this movie. There's one scene that brought just tears to my eyes. Like, this whole movie is a little manipulative. Like, it is a depressing movie. But that one scene, it's in the trailer, where he turns to the camera and he just says, like, with tears in his eyes, and just the most powerful thing, just like, I have to see that I've done one thing good with my life. I don't remember the exact line, but it's powerful and it hits you hard. And I love this guy so much. And I would love, love, love to see him finish up this comeback story with this Oscar win. Just blow everybody away. So I am 100% in on it, on Brendan Fraser.
So I haven't seen the movie, but I also agree with you because of the comeback story, but also all the reviews I watched of Brendan Fraser's performance in The Whale, people say he deserves it because he's been here for so long and hasn't had the recognition that he deserves. But the work he did to make this film what it was sounds incredible. Like the way he delivered the role, everything like that. Like I said, I haven't watched the film, but everything I've seen, he deserves it. However, the less objective part of me just wants Colin Farrell to win.
He also deserves an Oscar at some point in his life.
He does.
Like, when's he gonna get his Oscar?
Well, can I tell a quick story? Like, do you guys remember the first Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them? Like, I know.
Try to forget.
I remember I watched.
I know that song is a blip in a lot of people's memory, but he leads out this such a strong role, and he like puts on the performance of his lifetime.
I hate that you brought this movie up.
And no, just hold on here for
We're
a
talking
second.
about the best movies, Casey.
But hold on here. But then they just like, I'm talking about Colin Farrell's performance. He leads out this so effectively and strongly, and then they're like, woohoo, Johnny Depp, and I was like, ah!
Exactly. That's why I hate that you brought this up. Like, they replaced the perfect character or actor for this character with a worse version of the worst actor for the role. I have no problem with Johnny Depp, but like they had the perfect guy in Colin Farrell.
Yes.
So stupid.
Yeah. So that's why I'm like the less like person looking at this. Colin Farrell, been here for a long time, done such good work. His acting in this film, it really it shows you,
and look at
the skill and the resilience and the beauty of him.
And look at his story too, kind of going from like this kind of pretty boy actor, no one really takes him serious, to doing like all these real serious roles now, getting Oscar nominations, doing some great stuff. He's really cool. I wouldn't mind if he won it, but that's not my vote.
I already said a little bit about Colin Farrell, and you guys know I love him. There are some people talking about Austin Butler in Elvis. I haven't seen it, and I've told you I don't really have a desire to see it, not because I think it's bad.
I just want to say I've already forgotten the whole movie. Just really calling that out.
And so you know how they are with people who portray other actors. There's a lot of time Oscar buzz for how you do.
Does kind of like really embody Elvis. Too.
Like obviously,
I don't
like
really know Elvis, but he.
Who is it that won Best Actress last year for playing Judy Garland? Renee Zellweger. Like, the Oscars loves that type of thing. Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff around that. But from what I've heard, Brendan Fraser is the frontrunner. And you can mark it. Mark it. And now I have a quick moment to talk about After Sun.
Really?
Paul Mescal. Yes. Did you see After Sun?
No, I don't know anything about it.
After Sun? I'm pretty sure I've talked about this with people. I've talked about this with a lot of people.
But you didn't bring it to the podcast.
I haven't talked about it on the podcast.
Okay.
I didn't watch it until after. And keep in mind, this is like personal, right? if you go onto my letterbox right now and you look up my top 10 movies of 2022, After Sun is 2.
Wow.
My number 2 movie of the year. It was one, I watched it the first night. It left me feeling so melancholy and thinking about so much. And then afterwards, the next morning, and I thought about it more, I put it up to 5 stars. I only rated 2 movies 5 stars last year, Everything Everywhere and After Sun. And this is the only nomination for this movie. And I understand why. It's an A24 movie, right? And that's not, that means you can't get Oscar nominations. Everything Everywhere is the most nominated film, right? I just, like, I know Brendan Fraser's most likely going to win, and I actually really like that. I just, like, I wish that for After Sun, Paul Mescal would win. It's just incredibly, I won't go too far into it because that's a whole other discussion. I could literally have a whole podcast just talking about After Sun. The whole movie is him and his daughter, who he doesn't see very much because him and his ex-wife are divorced and they share custody, but he doesn't live in Scotland anymore, where they're from. They're on a vacation in Turkey, and it's just them on this vacation, and basically so much of the movie is just him being with his daughter, and I can't really say much without going into spoilers. So it's basically just him with his daughter, and basically the movie is really ambiguous on a lot of things purposefully for a lot of the storytelling points that it's trying to make. But there's basically just so much more going on with this man in his life and whatnot. And he just delivers such an incredible performance. It's so deserving of the nomination. And even though he won't win for After Sun, that's just like that's like even far, I think maybe even more than Stephanie Sue winning supporting actress. I would like, if Paul Mescal won Best Actor, I would like jump out of my seat and cheer so loud because I loved his performance and it was incredible, but just so that maybe this movie would get more sets of eyes like I believe it deserves. Like if you have, I don't know where it is right now because when I watched it, I just had heard really good things about it. And so I ended up renting it for like, I think it was like $10 to rent at the time, but I did it because I thought it was going to be good. And I was just like,
Worth the money.
Money. It was one that I'd been thinking about, like one of those that left me thinking. And like I said, I talked about it and the ideas that go along with it with people for a while after.
I'll try to get that one before Sunday then.
Do it. So we're going with Brendan Fraser for Best Actor.
Yes.
Let's toss it back to Best Actress. We got Cate Blanchett, Tar, Ana de Armas, Blonde, Andrea Riseborough to Leslie, Michelle William, The Fablemans, and Michelle Yeoh, Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. Vince, what's your vote?
I mean, can you bet against Cate Blanchett? If anyone's gonna win, it's gonna be Michelle Yeoh. And
those two are definitely
Yeah, I would love it to be Michelle Yeoh. I would prefer it to be Michelle Yeoh. Cate Blanchett in Tar is just like a force to be reckoned with.
That's why Tar is it is.
It's
right?
because of her.
Like it's not that because it's nominated for screenplay and for these other things as well. It's not that it's not good in those other categories because it is, but the reason this movie is where it is because of Cate Blanchett, 100%. And she's definitely. I remember, I think maybe one was ahead of the other as far as odds and whatnot, blah, blah, blah. Those are the top two. Michelle Yeoh, and that's my obvious preference. I haven't seen Tar. I know that you said that you watched it or part of it. I don't remember.
I'm getting through it. I haven't finished it yet, but I'm about halfway through it right now. And like she literally has just like monologues that just go and go and go. And she just is killing it the entire time through these one take shots where I'm just like, you know those movies where they do a one shot and you kind of forget, but it's like usually action scenes and you're like, that's really impressive. She does freaking one shots in this movie that just are her just monologuing and like moving around the scene to different places in the thing. And it's just like, she is still just like going and just like killing this. So she's just, like I said, it is just, from what I've seen so far, I'm going to finish it tonight after you guys leave. I just don't know if I can bet against her. Like I really don't. She's so good in it. Like, I don't know.
I got one word for you. Rakakuni. Like that's why I think that Michelle Yeoh needs to win. It's just being able to say that word.
Just because you can say the word.
Raccoon.
Or do you think that the raccoon should win?
Do we do? Oh, can we do what we did last year?
What was that?
Hedge our bets for half a point.
Oh, do a half. Oh yeah,
We did that,
that's right. I
right?
forgot about that. Yeah, where
I
you can.
Hedge our
honestly,
bets to get
like-
half a point.
Yeah.
Because I feel bad. Like I don't want to leave either one of them. I
So
want to do
so
both of them.
you bet. So you put both down, and if we win it, then you
if
only get
either
a
of them
half
get
point
it,
instead of a
yeah,
full
half
point.
a point.
Yeah,
'Kay.
I forgot about that little
I did too.
caveat that we
It
had
probably could have helped,
in a couple of these.
but we're pretty far
We're
gone.
far committed. But
We're to
no,
the last
I
freaking
kind
category.
of agree with you though. Like Michelle Yeoh, like
I would, yeah.
there was an article actually written, or like she did an interview where she's like, people were literally telling me to retire before this film, and now she's one of the most wanted actresses in Hollywood.
And she's another one of those like legacy actors that just like played a big role in every kung fu movie that I've seen. You know, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Just she's amazing in all of these things. And at her age, she's still doing like all this amazing kung fu. And yeah, every time she shows up, she's like the best part.
Well, I mean, and she has so much of this movie is amazing, right? We've talked about it, but there's the reason that she is the leading actress and she's the face of this movie. Her performance and Everything Everywhere All at Once is just so incredible, and this because there's so many different aspects that you have to think about behind this character, right? Someone who is in the Asian American community who has a close connection to someone like her father, right? Gong Gong or Alpha Gong Gong and stuff like that. And then also to the daughter who's so strongly American into the new and liberal and homosexual, all these things that are just so new, and they're the new world. It's so much new world versus old world stuff, and her being caught in the middle of that while also being caught in the middle of all this multiverse madness and stuff like that. And she has to learn so much, and she does so much, and she does all this incredible kung fu as well, and just there's just so much that goes into this movie, and I love all the performances in it, but she truly does carry the film. The story of this film is, I think, possibly one of the best things about it and everything, but Michelle Yeoh really does just give just an incredible performance that's worthy. Like, we don't have to debate this. They're both worthy of it. Like, either way it goes, it's going to be so... Either way, even if someone else wins, it's going to be deserved,
I'd
right?
be honestly happier if Michelle Yeoh won it, because Kate Blanchett, like, she probably doesn't have any room on her shelf anymore at this point, right? Like, give it to someone else. You know, vote for the underdog a little bit.
I could see it going either way, which is why we've hedged our bets.
Hedged our bets.
Hedge it.
But I'm leaning more heavily into Michelle Yeoh. I just want to note that.